Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Choices with Chichi. I'm always excited to have you guys with me. So today I'll be talking about a very interesting topic. One that is very interesting but people hardly talk about, and that is your definition of marriage. I was having a conversation with someone a couple of weeks back, and I don't know how we got there, but I asked her, this marriage thing, said, what is marriage to you? And she was like, marriage is a lot, but in one word to me, marriage is like an onion. And I was like, yeah, did I hear well? We started laughing because is it the onion part of the onion that makes you cry as you cut through, or the fact that it has so many layers, and the more you open and peel off this first layer, the more you peel off, the more layers you discover. And it was just hilarious. And then I also met someone who said to her marriage was like a container. It was like a container. Yeah, like a container, like a bowl. Anyway, it's been an exciting week. I had people who I interviewed a lot of people who gave me their definitions of marriage. So I'm sure you're probably wondering, why are we talking about marriage definitions? I'll tell you why. As Miles Monroe rightly puts it, when the purpose or the essence of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. The truth is, we all have definitions of marriage. I know that probably never sat down to ask yourself, what is marriage? But something is informing your understanding of marriage, your expectations from marriage. And that is what I am calling your definition of marriage. Before I got married, I went for premarital counseling, and one of the classes they asked us to define marriage. So it was very intensive. Like I think I'll talk about my premarital experience sometime, but it was very intensive, and they expected us to write what we felt was marriage and all. And the lawyer part of me just showed up, ta-da! And I'm like, marriage is a contract between two people, and yeah, and we will usually submit our worksheets, our workbooks, our assignment books, as it were, and our counselors will mark it. And then if there were gray areas, we'll come to class, the following week and discuss it. And when my book came back, I had the LT on my definition of marriage. LT meant or means let's talk. And I was like, oh man, what's wrong with my definition? Because I define marriage from the legal perspective, the contract between two consenting parties and and then we had to really talk about it, and we had to take draw my attention to the reference point, the standard, the beginning, the originator of marriage. And I was like, gotcha, gotcha. So sit back and let's see what people had to say about their understanding of marriage.
Hi, my name is Bologi Christiana Stephen. Marriage to me, it sounds elementary, but it's just it. Marriage to me is a union between a husband and a wife, a man and a woman who have decided to do life together, who have decided to be in a partnership for life, you know, together, to do life together basically. And where I got my definition from, to be honest, it is from the Bible because it says a man leaves his father and mother, cleaves to his wife, and they do life together. They do their own unique life together. They create their own mode. So yeah, marriage in one word. That's too my head. Sorry, marriage in one word. Union. Union. Thank you.
Okay, to me, marriage is a covenant relationship between a husband, a wife, and God. Yes, it's two-sided, husband and wife, couple, and God. So God is in the picture. That's what marriage is to me. Like it's a triangle. And this definition was influenced by Pastor Waka, one of the Living Faith Church pastors in my church, during one of our marriage seminars. To me, in one word, marriage is spiritual.
My name is Winnie Amlai Beatrice. Marriage to me is a relationship that entails partnership and friendship, most of all. I think I got my definition from my present experience in marriage or my past relationship with my present husband. And I'm sure I'm going to keep experiencing more of it, anyways. Yeah, but I just really think it's about friendship and partnership. Friendship, whereby, you can actually relate, talk about a lot of things. There's no boring moment. Even the times that you're both quiet, like, you still have that connection. And then partnership, sharing responsibilities, you know, basically doing stuff together. And marriage in one word, I'd like to say love. Oh. There's definitely love. Like, love really tops it. My husband is my friend. I keep using friendship. Marriage in one word, love. I think love actually crowns everything. Above all, it just has to be love. Yeah.
My name is Dami. What does marriage mean to me? Marriage is the union of two different people, two different personalities, two different identities, two different backgrounds coming together to become one. Like they are coming to become one with all their different ideas. They're bringing it to become one. What informs this definition for me is my experience in marriage. I mean, we are two different people, two different people. We like two different things, but we have to become one. We have to love one thing together. We have to agree on one thing. So that's marriage for me.
Marriage is about love, marriage is about friendship, marriage is about tolerance. Marriage is a lifelong commitment. Um, it does not compete, it complements. My definition of marriage is influenced by the Bible and by my own experience. So to me, marriage is learning, marriage is what you make of it. Marriage is about compromise. Genesis chapter 2 verse 24 said, and man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall be joined to his wife, and they two shall become one flesh. To my understanding, that is compromise. Husband and wife giving up things to meet each other halfway. In verse 25 of that same Genesis chapter 2, it says, they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. So, my definition of marriage again is a place where people can be themselves. A marriage is where a husband and a wife can flourish without fear. So, marriage is a place where fighting can be a very fun competition. Yeah, marriage is actually hard work. It takes a lot of hard work and patience, um, and is on the vow of not giving up on your partner. So, marriage takes two willing individuals to work. Um, my definition of marriage in one word is investment. Yeah, marriage is an investment. Your input determines your output.
Welcome back. I hope you had fun. It was really interesting just listening to them. And I would like to say that there are no right or wrong definitions of marriage per se. So your definition of marriage is according to your understanding of marriage. And like we've seen in the videos, it's from personal experience. Some of our definitions or understanding of marriage are from our backgrounds, church, church, the internet. So I'll show you some things I saw while I was preparing for this post, for this definition of marriage thing. I went online and I was seeing some things that blew my mind. It made me laugh. But the truth is, somebody out there is sticking to these definitions and running with it. Just before I show you, I met somebody a while back who told me that she was having issues settling for the right person. She had a lot of guys on her case, and she just couldn't make up her mind because she wasn't seeing what she wanted in them. So I'm like, what do you really want? She's like, to her, if this is going to be a long-lasting relationship that's going to end in marriage, her expectation from men is that as I'm thinking it, you're thinking it. You don't have to expect me to say stuff. And I was shocked. So without saying it, without defining it with pen and paper, her definition of marriage will be along the lines of marrying a magician or a supernatural somebody who will be reading her mind, and she doesn't need to talk. She doesn't like to talk. She just wants to, go through the marriage, and the person will be doing all she expects the person to do. Something informed it. But let me just show you some things and then I'll come back. So I hope you had a good laugh like I did. But I want to say something. I had to do like a reference. I had to go and check the beginning of marriage. And that's I found in Genesis 1. I'm reading from the Message. I love the Message translation, by the way. Let me tell you why. So, you know how if you grew up in a Christian home and you had a lot of Sunday school experiences, you already have some memory verses. So if I read the Bible in other versions, I just feel like I'm reciting it. It doesn't, I feel like I'm going through the motions with reading my Bible. But there's something about the Message Bible. It's like a story. The contemporary English that's being used in this translation makes me want to just keep reading my Bible. So I love the Message. So I'm reading Genesis 1 to 26. But my focus is on verse 26 to 28. It said, God spoke, let us make human beings in our image, make them reflecting our nature. It was a collaborative something. So they can be responsible for the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, the cattle, and yes, the earth itself, and every animal that moves on the face of the earth. So God created human beings. He created them godlike, reflecting God's nature. He created them male and female. Then God blessed them and said, which is what marriage, in my own opinion, is supposed to achieve. Prosper, reproduce, fill the earth, and take charge. Prosper, reproduce, fill the earth, take charge. And then Genesis 2, verses 23 to 25 says, finally, the man said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. This is a different episode on its own. I'm not going to delve into it deeply. Name her woman, for she was made from man. Therefore, a man will leave his father and mother and embrace his wife, and they become one flesh. The two of them, the man and the woman, were naked and they felt no shame. You see that line? They were naked and felt no shame. That's another preaching entirely, and I'm not going to delve into it. But I'm just saying that from the beginning, he made them male and female. Oh, he made them male and female. And there was a mandate. Beyond that, marriage is divine. In one word, marriage is divine. Marriage is a divine institution set up by God, based on the principles of love, oneness, sacrifice, and a host of other principles. But you're supposed to achieve 4 things: prosper, reproduce, fill the earth, and then take charge. I'm just saying this because some of us feel like we get into marriage and we expect people to complete us. Marriage doesn't complete you. The last speaker said it. Marriage is an investment. What you put in is what you get out. Only that God blesses your efforts. So you don't just put in one and get one. You put in one and then God blesses it and then it multiplies and comes back to you. So marriage is a lot of work, a lot of good work. It's not frustrating work. It's not hard work. It's a lot of good work. So my definition of marriage is this, and it's quite long, but I hope you're blessed. Because every time we if you want to understand the essence of a thing, you need to go back to the beginning, the reference point, the standard. So, in the beginning, in the beginning, in the beginning, God created and it was good. It was just good. But it was not good for man to be alone. For God knew he needed a friend, a companion, a helpmeet, the flesh of his flesh. For though he had the beast of the air and the birds in the sky, the fish in the sea and the light in the sky, his little paradise needed some spice, something more than the touch of an acoustic device. For he knew no bride price could pay the full price for one who edifies the bone of his bone from his bone, his woman. So God made woman, and it was good. Oh, it was so good. Because marriage is beautiful. In the beginning, God intended marriage to last forever. See, it had nothing to do with the fleeting feelings of the flesh, but everything to do with the long-lasting love of a faithful, forgiving father who saw we were lost. A faithful, forgiving father saw we were lost, paid the cost, called us aside to abide, that we might become his bride, his pride. Because marriage is forever. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, love. So how can I talk about the foundations of marriage without talking about love? Sorry, God. For God so loved the world that he gave. And I'm not talking about the ticklish, tingly feeling kind of love, but the God kind of love that he gave. So love is in the giving, not the feeling. For though he felt the cup should pass, he was willing to give his all for you and I. I mean, he was willing to give his all, though he was perfect for the imperfect. For while men proposed on their knees, he proposed on the cross. For God so loved the world that he gave. Not a ring, a range, or a rose, but the gift of all gifts, who did not deem it fit to sit through mankind, looking for one kind to love. A love not based on notions, motions, or emotions, but a constant dedication to the will of the Father. And the will of the Father is that man should love, woman respect, and both never lose sight of the vows. The will of the Father, I said, is for man to love, woman respect, and both never lose sight of the vows, for God is a witness. In the beginning, he who is the beginning and the end intended that the end will end thus, and they lived happily ever after. And this is not a Cinderella story. This is the original story. But to do this, you need to live to cleave. So end thus, you need to live to cleave, to become one indivisible bond, the semblance of the Trinity, the significance of the ring, a circle with no end. So for you who is listening out there, my prayer today is that what you have, your marriage will never end. You will never bend or come to a dead end. And at all, if at all you need to blend, may it cause you to ascend and not descend. Oh, beyond ascending, may you transcend and never condescend. May you both find in yourselves a friend. May you befriend the Lord until he contends with those who pretend to commend when they actually condemn. My prayer is that the Almighty will superintend and bring you to an expected end, just like I'm about to end, but not before we all say amen. So today is never too late to reevaluate your marriage. Define your marriage according to the plans of the originator, the creator, which is God. There is nothing natural about marriage. Marriage is a divine institution set up by God, run by God. A threefold cord. I feel like it's the presence of God in that union that makes it marriage. Anything outside of that is probably a relationship. So God bless you and God bless your marriages, and keep at it. It's going to work. We are all going to work out well. Our marriages are going to work out well. In Jesus' name. I love you. Keep being you. I hope you're blessed.